Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Beneath the Surface podcast. Today I'm super fucking excited for a few different reasons. One,
This guy
we have
swore
two
in the
repeating.
first minute.
Yeah.
This guy swore in the first minute. He said he wasn't
Not
going
even
to
the
do
first
it.
minute, the first 5
This
seconds.
guy made it only like 10 seconds, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to do it. I don't give a shit."
Yeah, it's gotten to that point. So we have two repeat guests, which is the first time this has ever happened. We have two guests, which is the first time this has ever happened. And three, this is my first YouTube video. So this should be a pretty good time. And it's already demonetized. So guys, take it away. Introduce yourselves.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Kay Enagonio. I do vocals and I am also a freelance videographer, photographer. And I've got a podcast called Project Freelance, which is about freelancing. And I have another podcast called No Tracers, which is about exploring abandoned places. And those are the things that I do. And that is who I am.
Ryan, what's up?
It's not going to be as clear and concise as that. I can tell you that much. My name's Ryan. I produce. I'm a singer, songwriter, screamer, multi-instrumentalist. I call myself a musical entrepreneur. I have multiple projects that I run at the same time. I've been working with Kay for the last over 2 years now. And beyond that, in a few bands here and there, working on some other stuff. I have a solo project coming out. And so if you want to chalk up the projects that I'm in, I would say that's like between 4 and 5, which is nuts. But that's always been my life. So,
Busy dude. Busy people. And I have to plug myself. Michael Abbey Productions. My website is in full swing by the time this podcast is coming out. And that bullshit link compared to where you can find these amazingly talented people are going to be in the show notes, as well as a link to the main focus of today's podcast, which is a link to your favorite streaming platform of your guys' new EP that came out a few days ago, Pandemic. And today we're going to be going track by track and just kind of going through it and seeing what's up. Sound good?
Ooh, track by track.
Sounds great.
That's awesome. All right. I mean, lyrically, we should probably start there. So you go ahead.
Well, I mean, we did the instrumentals first, though. So I guess we could talk about the concept. We could talk about like the concept of like the instrumentals, like how we came up with that kind of stuff. Like, for example, the first single that came out, Bird Box, when we first sat down to like write the instrumentals, and by write I mean I told Ryan sounds and he created the sounds with instruments, and we came up and collaborated together. And for Bird Box, the first thing I said was, I just want this song, just call it Angry Shit. I just want it to sound angry. So the original title of Bird Box, yes, the original title of Bird Box is Angry Shit. And I love demo titles. I love hearing bands' demo titles. So it's a little fun fact.
We had quite a few that you're probably going to laugh at. But yeah, it was just heavy shit, whatever it could be. And I've heard this before, and I've heard this as a criticism, that it's like one long breakdown, which it's not a criticism, it's accurate. So
that's a fact.
It's a fact. It's 100% what it was, because it's like, what's the heaviest shit we can get away with that's still metalcore and that's still, it doesn't like drift away from like whatever it is we're trying to do. And I was like, okay, cool, drop G, it'll be the lowest tuning of the record. And I was just like, all right, what like makes my face go like this, like super like yeah,
the gent face.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of ones and zeros for you guitar freaks out there. And what we did when we originally wrote this was, and we'll say this for the entire EP, Kay came up at the end of 2018 around Christmas time to write, and also for me to show her a little bit of Toronto and see what happens there. And when we sat down to write a lot of the stuff, it just like became like skeletons, because we knew that we would come back to them, but we just didn't know when. So we kind of sat on this for a year and got distracted doing a lot of other stuff. And then the reason why this is coming out now is simply because of quarantine and the way that everyone is stuck in the shit right now. And even if we're open, even if we are, I don't think it's gonna last. But regardless, yeah, the skeletons were there, just sat on it, and I think we both mutually were just like, yeah, I think now's the time. Let's go back to those originals. Let's reinvent them, see what happens. And to be honest with you, instrumentally, sitting on that for a year, not even touching it, not even hearing it for a year, just got me so amped and wired. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do these songs, and they're gonna be fucking sick. So finished the song in probably like an afternoon, and then sent it to Kay, who already had lyrics done for this already originally. But I think we both decided that, like, you know what, we should change the theme a little bit, maybe do something a little bit different, at least lyrically.
Yeah, I think originally when didn't we watch Bird Box while I was at your house?
You did. I didn't.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so I watched Bird Box while I was at his house, and that's kind of where the inspiration for the lyrics for this song actually came from. And so if you haven't seen the movie, you don't have Netflix because it was all over the place on Netflix. But yeah, lyrically, the song talks about, things that are themes in the movie and things the characters go through, and kind of written from the perspective of somebody that would be in that kind of situation. I mean, the lyrics are, have you ever thought about blinding yourself because you didn't want to see? Like, and in the movie, the blind people are the ones who like see everything, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like they are safe, and it's such an interesting movie. And so I'm very inspired by like cinema. So I have a few songs written about, TV shows or movies, and Bird Box was definitely one of those. And yeah, I love the song. It's so fun. And then we can talk about, having rap in a metalcore song. This is something that I've always had a passion about doing. I have a band called Chasing Satellites as well, which I should have said at the beginning, but whatever. So I'm in a band called Chasing Satellites, which is technically the same kind of setup that what Ryan and I have for this solo project under K Enagonio. It's just me and a producer / writer. And I would love to tour with either or both projects eventually, that's the goal, obviously, with this stuff. But yeah, so with Chasing Satellites, that was my first opportunity to have rap in a metalcore song, and I loved the feedback on that. And then when I heard Bird Box and I was like, listening to it back, I was like, I want to get a feature on this song. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know who to ask. And then I was watching a YouTube coronavirus cipher with a bunch of rappers, and one of those rappers was a guy named Chase. And I loved what he did on that cipher so much that it made me want to look up his music. So I looked up his music, listened to it, got hooked on it. And then I reached out to him over Instagram, and I just said, hey man, would you be interested in doing something a little bit different? I have this heavier song and I would love for you to rap a verse over it. He said yes. And so now we have, a great feature on that song. And it was really cool getting to work with him through this process.
Sounds exciting. So as far as Bird Box goes, is there anything else you guys had to say? Any loose ends to tighten up?
Well,
is that about it?
I will say, like, when we originally finished it, the song was probably about like 15 or 20 seconds shorter than what you heard as the final product. And the reason for that is because, like, Chase thought his part was kind of short, and arguably it was. So what he did was basically asked for us to send the stems, and if you're unaware of what those are, I basically sent him versions of the songs that just had drums soloed, guitar soloed, vocals soloed, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And he just remixed his own part. And what he brought to the table, I was just like, shit, this sounds so good. So having to have that collaboration was a challenge, but also really exciting, because what he brought to the table, even like as someone who was just hearing the song for the first time, was just like, oh, well, why didn't you try this? Sort of like what a producer does, was actually kind of interesting and really cool to work with. So I took those ideas, put them exactly as he wanted, and added a couple touches here and there, and boom, Bird Box like sounds as heavy as it does. And every time his part comes on, I'm always just like fucking headbanging super hard. It's so good.
It's a killer song. I will
Makes
say
me
that.
wanna, like, Makes me want to box. Makes me want to go boxing.
Straight up.
You know?
Makes me want like those hardcore dancers and shit where they're just like
He's
walking around the pit like this.
Bet you play games.
Yeah, like, right? Like shit.
So good.
Okay, so we got. Are you ready for the next one? You know what the
Yeah, I do. I do also want to see. I do also want to say, if you don't like your own music, you shouldn't put it out.
That is true.
That's true.
Very, very true.
Like, if you can't listen to your own shit, like 6ix9ine, like, do you think he was like, this song fucking bangs?
Actually, I think he was exactly.
You
like
bet
that.
he was.
100%.
You bet he was. You motherfucking bet he was. He was like, yes.
You know what though? That song, like as I told you, I was just like, that song like would be the beat is really good. The beat is arguably fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Part of the reason why it's number one, at least at the time. And like I was just like, man, if I could hear someone else's vocals over this, it'd be so damn good. It'd be even better. Like, it's just there's a lot of angst in it, which I get, but like not like, cause I listen to metal obviously, but like not from a rapper usually. So I'm just like, it's kind of throws me off and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but that's my own taste. And I just put a target on my head now. So there's that.
No one's watching.
That being said, we're going to cover that song.
Yeah, we are. 100%.
Do it.
We're doing it. We have to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the next song.
Divided
track.
We Fall.
That's the one.
That's the guy.
That was
Ryan, you want to talk about that?
Well, Divided We Fall, I guess when we were first demoing it, it was sort of inspired by sorry, 1 second. Holy shit. It was kind of inspired by a lot of like, well, the way that like as Kay already said, like describing what you wanted to hear out of something and then like just sounds and then just trying to figure it out. We were trying to go for one where people would actually like bounce and like sort of like we knew was going to be a bit more of a mosher. So we at the time we were kind of getting inspired by a lot of like hardcore stuff that we were listening to, a lot of old school Of Mice and Men, like things like that.
Yeah.
And we just sort of took the reins with this. And before the song was okay, like at least demo wise, but like I said, like having a year to just sit on it and not even think about it really helped. And there are a couple parts of the song where you're just like, maybe we should change, make it a little bit more interesting, and it really helped. So song sounds great. I wouldn't change a thing about it right now. And before, that was one that I was really insecure about, which was kind of cool to reflect on at the end of the day. And I know that Kay, you already had lyrics for this about something completely different.
Yeah. I wish I like had, I mean, I have the original lyrics in my notebook, but we could talk. What were you going to say, Michael?
I was just going to ask, do you remember what the original concept was?
I do.
Oh, she's getting it. Okay.
Yeah.
My mind is, but I'm grabbing them right now. What was the original song name? Yeah.
Falling.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Well, how does the song go? Yeah. So yeah, originally the song was about like a girl or something stupid like that, and you know how it goes. We write about heartache and we write about pain and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so the like most recent version of the instrumental, obviously my mindset changed because this entire EP is obviously about the pandemic, about the coronavirus. And sorry, you probably just got demonetized because I said that.
It's all good. I already demonetized myself. So yeah.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah. We could kick it up a notch though because I have nothing else to lose. So.
Okay, so coronavirus, Veronavirus.
That's the one, Veronavirus.
So yeah, this is obviously about the pandemic and everything, and so the song is kind of like sad sounding. And so I was thinking very like Linkin Park, Linkin Park vocals, that kind of thing. And it reminds me of the one about the sun setting, the really sad one with leaving the flowers on the table and like all that shit in the hospital. Anyway, I don't remember what song it is, but Linkin Park song.
I'm gonna look it up while you keep talking.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking it up because I have
not a big LP fan, unfortunately. I just put a target on myself, so Ryan, don't feel bad. You're good.
I wish I remembered this song.
6ix9ine fans are a little bit more aggressive than Linkin Park fans, to be fair.
You're so right.
Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm getting doxxed right now.
Yeah.
Do you mean Shadow of the Day?
Yes. In the shadow of the day.
Yep.
Embrace the world in gray.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I was thinking. I was thinking about that song. That song impacted me a whole lot when I was younger. When it came out, I was like, damn, this song hits me right in the feels. And I wanted to write something that was like that. So this song is basically like, I wanted it to be similar to that feeling, Yeah.
Now, Ryan,
we got to talk about the feature on this too, because this is your boy.
Yes. So the feature on this is Adam Fabosi. I think I'm saying his last name right. He is from the band My City, My Secret. And I was a huge fan of them a couple years ago. They have kind of been on a hiatus for a couple years, but their music's absolutely incredible, and I love what he did on this song.
Oh yeah, made it sound so much more emotional. So good, really brought everything out.
Ryan, do you have anything instrumentally to say about this Divided We Fall?
I mean, like I said, like it got more melodic the more I started working on it the second time around, so to speak. Yeah. I was sort of inspired a lot by Beartooth with this one, to be completely honest. And I was just sort of like, what kept going through my head the entire time I was recording, I was just like, I want to make this like I Have a Problem, because that song hit me so fucking hard when that first came out. And that's why the chorus is like super fast, because that's like not something that we have on that EP to a degree, at least in a chorus. So having that sort of driving drum line, that sort of hardcore line, really brought it home for me. And I just I really, really like how moody and emotional that song is.
Hell yeah. So next, what I foresee being the fan favorite, as I foresaw it, The Doctor's In, track 3. What do you, lyrics, instruments, whatever you guys have to say, go for it.
Instrumentally, I think that was the first song we started writing. This meeting has been upgraded by that. Oh, okay, my bad. You can cut that out.
Okay, you scared me for a second.
No. Like the notification just came up on Zoom for a second. My apologies. So this is the first song we started writing, and at the time I was listening to Architect's latest record, and I was just like, I want something that sounds a lot like that, at least at the start of things. Like I was like, how can I make this at least more to what I can write and what I can play? So that's what really inspired that one. And we had multiple versions of this one because we had started it first. And the chorus actually was different when I finished it as opposed to what Renee added to it. And Renee coming in and just nailing that chorus. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like when I
first heard
it, I was floored.
He said Renee and I was like, dude, wow.
Like my God, she killed that shit. So this one is more pop structured for sure, in terms of like your verse, chorus, bridge, like that sort of thing. But it's heavy and it's catchy. So I didn't expect this to be to be my favorite, so to speak, but it's probably my favorite song on the record. And I think I agree with you, Michael. It's probably going to be a lot of people's favorite on this record.
100%.
Yeah.
Again, similar to you, it's my favorite. Not picking favorites, but you know.
It's crazy. Like that song quickly, not only is the song great, but like the lyric video is fucking
it's
hype.
so dope.
Yo,
so dope.
Like Michael, you haven't seen it yet, but like the lyric, it's out. Like, dude, it's so sick. So I created all the lyric videos for this EP because I was like, I don't need no man. Actually, I was like, I don't have no budget.
Well, both of those are correct, to be fair.
True. So so I was like, I can do this myself. Plus it's quarantine. I want to get better at After Effects work. So I might as well dive into the deep end in After Effects. So jumped into After Effects, and we actually, Ryan and I put our money together and we got artwork from Adobe Stock, actually. So for all of you out there, if you're looking for dope, really cool artwork, like Adobe Stock has some really, really cool stuff. And so I just went on Adobe Stock, found some stuff, bought a license for it, you know, so we could use it for this kind of stuff. We bought like unlimited licenses so that we could put them on shirts and do all kinds of cool stuff with the graphics. And because I knew in the long run that would be a cool way to go, and we would also be able to use it as merch. So got the artwork, and then I brought it into After Effects and just started tinkering with it. And the character is a plague doctor, and we wanted to keep that theme going across like all the videos and the artwork. So it's a plague doctor, and he's sitting at a table, and he's got all his little containers and feather quill pens and all that stuff, and he's wearing goggles, and his goggles are orange, and there's like an orange liquid in a bottle on the table. And so every time there's like a beat or anything that happens musically, the oranges light up. So there's like light, a light element to the lyric video. So
that's dope.
Yeah, I thought it was super fascinating, and it was super fun to like work on a project like that and just dive into something that was super creative for me. But going back to, you know, the lyrics of that song. So again, we're talking about the pandemic, obviously. But this is a song basically from the perspective of the American citizens. Like, we're being told one thing by one person, we're being told another thing by another person, and like it's political now. Like, it's a political thing now, even though it's why is it like, just take care of your people at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like Canada, like they're getting like you guys get like a percentage of your paycheck covered or something, is what I heard, but I don't know if that's true.
So it's a couple of things. So firstly, like the main thing that's going to be sticking to it is our government has given people, I believe it's $2,000 a month for 4 months, starting in March. I may be wrong no, it is March. And that's if you lost your job, you were laid off because of coronavirus, and you worked in an industry where you couldn't, like you were working non-essential. So a lot of my friends, like,
so they're helping the people that need help.
To a degree, yes. But there's been a lot more emphasis on, like, obviously, like the nursing homes and things like that. There's a huge problem with that here. So they're trying to allocate some funds and everything like that. But at the same time, what's interesting is that not all of the country is at the same level of just mass like outbreaks or anything like that. So like you have provinces on the East Coast that are already allowing small gatherings of like 5 people in their homes and like 10 people outside, like because there's like basically 10 times less the population there than where I live, and it's Canada, so that's like 10 times less than you to begin with. So the main hotspots are the big cities. So you have Montreal, which is a major hotspot, Toronto, and then Vancouver. But Vancouver's still like they have a lot of they have a lot of you guys energy. I find they've always been they're the ones that started the protest and saying that this is a violation of like freedom of rights, and it's like, no, it's a health crisis. Jesus Christ, like, fuck.
Exactly. Yeah, people don't understand it. And so yeah, all of this stuff that we're talking about is gonna be, the information will be different, I'm sure, by the time this podcast comes out. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally evolving daily. Like, Yeah, like I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast. I've been watching it every day for almost every day. He does like 3 a week for the past, since this began, just like with his different guests talking about what's going on. And literally today he was like, yeah, everything we talked about at the beginning of this is completely different now. Like completely different.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
like
nuts.
we thought different things. Like we didn't think we need masks. We do think we need masks. Like we don't know nobody knows what's going on. The doctors don't know what's going on. Like it's crazy. So this song, The Doctor's In, and the reason it's called The Doctor's In, like INN, like an inn, is because that's where you stay. Like that's a place you stay. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to like bring that aspect, because like once you go into the hospital with coronavirus, like a lot of people aren't coming out, you know what I mean? Like they're staying there and they're by themselves. And when you're at an inn, like if you're traveling, you're by yourself most of the time, you know what I mean? So like a hostel, exactly. So that's kind of where the name came from, and the concept of the song, the lyrics of the song. And then I reached out, I knew I wanted to so people have been asking for Renee and I to collaborate literally since we met each other, like for years. We did a video together way back when, like a goofy video called The Face You Make, when there was this dumb challenge going on and we were like, let's play this game on YouTube. And it's got like 100,000 views. I don't know, it's ridiculous. It did good. But people it did really well. So first of all, she was like, we need to make another one of those videos. So hopefully we'll make a Face You Make part 2. With Renee Phoenix. Right that's what I'm saying. But yeah, since we made that video, people have been asking us to collab on music, and so this was like finally the opportunity. I was like, hey Renee, I know you're at home right now and I know you're busy, but like if you have time to do this, I would love to have you on the song. She was like, I'll do it tomorrow. All right, I'll write it tomorrow, I'll record it the next day, I'll get it to you. So fast, so efficient, so talented. And like I've loved her music since I first heard of Fit for Rivals, you know what I mean? Like, 100%. You know, their stuff is amazing. And so to have her feature on a song like this is so cool, because she brings a different style completely to the song.
It becomes a rock song when she hits it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I wouldn't even think of this. And then you know what I was gonna say was where I really felt the anger behind the song was your boy Alex. Like his there was so much angst in just that like little verse he had. And like, you want to talk about getting political, that shit was beyond, like you could feel the tension in that.
He was pissed.
He was fucking pissed.
So I originally did that part. So Alex Maggard from Vandalheart is the other feature that's on The Doctor's In. And I originally had lyrics there, but I didn't like what I did. I was like, I hate this. Like, I don't like the way it sounds. I don't think this is going to be good for the song. I'm going to get another feature. And it was super last minute, because that's just, you know, sometimes that happens. And so I reached out to Alex and I was like, hey man, I love your voice. Like, I would love to have you do something with this. And he was like, okay, I think I could do something. And what he wrote is like, yeah, like you said, super like political, like we failed as a fucking society is literally the lyrics of, you know, part of what he says, you know, and that's like, literally, that's it. He hit the nail on the head with it, you know, like 100%. There's nothing he could have written that more encapsulated what I was trying to go for with this song. Like he did a perfect job on it. And so again, like I can't be grateful enough for all the features. We have features on every single song, which is like absolutely bananas to me. I can't believe people
it's a rap record, man. That's what happens.
Yeah. I can't believe people, like, honestly, like I can't believe people gave a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
It's cool to see that my friends and like people that I love supporting their music, like they actually give a shit about what I'm doing. Like that's huge to me. And that just makes me like want to support my friends more. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm super grateful. Super grateful.
I think everybody can.
So that's The Doctor's In.
Yeah, Doctor's In. And I was actually going to give you props on the misspelling, not the misspelling, like the double meaning to the title. I was going to either ask about that or give you props because I had a feeling, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. I actually wasn't a big fan of it when you first proposed that. And then I typed it out on like our text chain back and I was just like, oh, okay, she's right. It looks so good. It looks so fucking good.
It looks so good. It's so good. And it completely changes the meaning of the name. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it gives it, like you said, a double meaning, you know? And I'm all about like creative song titles. Like, for example, even though they're long as shit, Johnny Craig has like amazing song titles. Like, I thought you were, like whatever. He's got so many songs that are like 13 words long just in the name. And I've always thought, creative song titles are really cool. So that was my chance to, have my own.
And you succeeded.
And I guess in transition to the next song, if you're listening to the record, you'll know that like at the end of this song, on at least the album mix, there's a heart monitor that you hear play out, and someone dies as the next song starts. So that next song is Into Oblivion, right?
Yes.
Okay. With that one, at least instrumentally, we had the plan was to make something old school of Mice and Men, like the old session, like just for the sake of remembering what we wanted to do with it, was called OM ampersand M, like just straight up. We were just like, I don't give a fuck. It needs to sound like this. So
of Mice and Men.
Obviously the synth.
Thank you.
Yeah, the synth stuff. That I definitely was more fired by like Attack. You're talking like Sticky, 100%. Like those kinds of synthesizers. That sort of old school Asking Alexandria, old school Attack, all that shit.
Just the late 2000s metalcore scene, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Let's just go. For me, that's when I first discovered. I discovered that when I was like 14, so 2010, like at the tail end of that, and sort of becoming like Attack self-titled. So when I first like heard that stuff, I was like, I want to write a song that just makes high school me really happy. So that was the inspiration, at least instrumentally, behind this song. So it's old school metalcore with a modern flair, is what I would say.
All right, now, Kay, do you have anything lyrically about the song, or meanings, recording, writing, whatever?
Yeah, I could talk about all of that. So the song Into Oblivion, it is. I'm looking at the lyrics right now, and he's losing it. He's disgusting.
This man's got the Backstreet Boys reunion series. This man's got tickets. What the fuck?
All right.
Oh my god.
I am good. I have a hole in my lip, but
okay, cool.
Besides that, I'm good.
Oh, got you. Okay, so this song is basically about what happened when the coronavirus, really hit. And so the lyrics go, when this all started, they gouged up the prices. From the moment you contracted, it weighs on your eyelids. So that is about, obviously, when this all started, all the prices for every fucking thing went up. People were buying hand sanitizer and trying to sell it for like $100, all this stupid stuff that is unnecessary. And the other line that I just said, when like your eyes getting hot and your eyes feeling heavy and like in pain, like that's one of the symptoms of the virus. So I wanted to write about that as well. And then the song just continues on, and I wanted to have something for like the transition from the verses to the chorus. I guess like a pre-chorus kind of. Would you call that a pre-chorus, Ryan? Like the part that Clairvoyant does?
Yeah, to a degree. I call it more of like an interlude. I mean, like he had like a verse, and then like he had his bridge right after that second chorus, and I love what he did with it. It was super. It reminded me of like boy band stuff, which is like perfect.
That's his thing. Yeah,
Icy Stars kind of vibe, and I was like, yes, all the yes.
Yeah, he's definitely got that vibe. So Clairvoyant, I actually a few years ago, he flew me to West Virginia to film a music video for him. That's how we met. We filmed this music video in an abandoned elementary school in the middle of nowhere in West Virginia. And we spent like 3 days together, and we filmed so much together. We went all over the place. And so when I was trying to figure out like who should feature on this, I was like, he had a song that had just come out, and it was like really popping off on YouTube because he had some amazing features on it as well. And I was like, I want to help want to help build what he's doing, because he's still like a new artist. And I was like, I want to help build what he's doing. So I wanted to bring him on and give him, like, share what we're building with him. And so he absolutely, like you said, it's very like Icy Stars, and that's what I love about it. Like, I love that vibe that he brings to it. It's so cool, and it's so like unique as well, and that's why I like it.
Anything else about that track 4, Into Oblivion?
It's the most I would say it's the most musically involved, because like there's not just like a lot of guitar and like your standard like rock setup. So I kind of got, I would say, a little bit fancy with the synths, just because I was like, this is the only song that's going to be like super, super fancy. So it makes the high schooler in me very happy. And that at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do with this. So I'm proud of it.
Hell yeah, as you should be. This whole EP, guys, from everything, even from what you've told me on this podcast, if I didn't even listen to it, to know how much went into it, you guys should be proud.
Thank you, man.
Which I didn't listen to it, but track 5, 6 Feet Apart.
Yeah, let's talk
featuring
about that
Jake
one.
Monroe.
So earlier I was talking about Divided We Fall, but I was thinking about this song. That's why I was like, oh, the Linkin Park song. This is the Linkin Park song. This is the Linkin Park song. So we might have to do Divided We Fall again.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about
Divided We Fall. Go for it.
No, we'll do 6 feet apart, because we're there. We'll just do that.
Do it.
Sorry about that, guys. That was totally my bad. And literally on my computer in the lyrics, I have Divided We Fall, but it's 6 feet apart's lyrics. And so I was like so confused. I was like, what is happening here?
Oh shit! Dude.
What is happening here? Because the right ones are on my phone.
Because like my improv was
it was
yes
great.
and let's just go with that. Whatever. Fuck it.
You killed it.
I was like, wait, what? Okay, let's go. Okay, sure.
I was thinking, but whatever, I guess that kind of sounds like Linkin Park, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks for having my back, guys. Shit. Oh my god, that's so funny. Fuck me.
The captain goes down with his ship.
Thank you for having my back fully. Okay, so 6 feet apart. Let's talk about this. Sorry, you're gonna edit a little bit, Michael.
Hey, it's all good.
But I appreciate you.
I gotta learn something.
Okay, so that's true. So 6 feet apart, featuring Jake Monroe. Can I just say that Jake Monroe is like now one of my favorite people on this planet, and we have only been friends for like since quarantine, essentially. I came across his videos on YouTube. He laughs at TikTok videos, but he's a goth guy, so he like wears makeup, and I think he looks so cool in all of his videos. And then what was the original thing I like looked him up for? Was it the Crimson?
I think so. It definitely was.
Okay, so I was trying to find a feature for the Crimson to sing the choruses. That Ryan and I did the Crimson by Atreyu, a cover of it, and I was like looking up vocalists on YouTube, and he did a Linkin Park cover, and I was like, oh my god, this is this guy. It's this guy. This is the guy that's gonna sing on this cover of Atreyu. So I reached out to him, and he was like, I fucking love that song. Let's do it. So we did it. It was huge. Everybody loved it. It's like one of the best songs we've done. And we also had Nick Nocturnal on that. And it was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun to work on that song.
It was so fucking fun.
And it was so fun. And then when 6 Feet Apart came along, and I was like, okay, we need a feature for this song as well, I'm going to ask Jake. I'm just going to see if Jake will do it. See if Jake wants to do it. So I hit him up. I was like, hey, man. Hi, Jake. I have another thing that if you're interested, I don't know, maybe if you have time while you're trapped in your house.
Yeah, right.
Can you maybe please kind of, do you want to do a feature on this song? And he was like, send me the instrumental. Let's do it. But going back to like, that's how Jake came a part of the project.
Yeah.
But going back to the song, it's very like, melodic, and and such. And Ryan, I'll let you talk about the instrumentals of 6 Feet Apart real quick.
You said you wanted a song that sounded like Woe Is Me. Old school Woe Is Me, like And Delinquents, that kind of thing. So I was just like, all right, let me listen to the record again, because it's been years. So I did. We listened to a couple songs, and I was just like, all right, I got it. And then I think the first thing we wrote was the chorus. And I was like, all right, cool, this is done. And this was also like one of the last songs that we were working on when we were together working on this way back. So I was just like, all right, I want something that just sort of really stands out and sounds super, super big, emotional, and old school Woe Was Me. Same story as Into Oblivion. So that's why I love that these two songs specifically go back to back. So beyond that, like, that song's pretty self-explanatory. Like it's got those old school vibes that you'll probably get from this record, and like it's still a banger of a tune. I fucking love it, especially what Jake did on that. Like, oh man! But also, what put that song over the top is our ghostwriter Lauren Babick.
Yes.
So
I'll talk about this.
Please talk about that, because I want to know. I don't know shit about this.
Okay, so
I'm curious now.
I am kind of a singer. I consider myself a singer in training, if you will. I am first a screamer. I've been screaming for over a decade, which makes me feel a little bit old, but whatever. This is life. So with this song, I wanted to go with like a very like a Linkin Park vibe as well when it came to like the actual singing. And so I came up with something, didn't like it, thought it could be better. And so I hit up Lauren and I was like, hey, Lauren, do you have some time? Because Lauren's in 17 fucking projects, okay? She's doing 8,000 things a day. She's a teacher. She's just a touring musician. She's she's fucking famous. I don't even know how she has time for me anymore.
You just did the thing with Ben Bryce or whatever.
Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria.
I gotta censor that.
All of us. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. What? I fucked his name up so bad.
I was like, what? How?
But you know who I meant.
All good.
Asking Alexandria.
Ben Bruce. Everybody knows. Everybody knows who you meant. It's all good. Ben Bryce, that's his name now, for sure.
I knew a dude in high
like
school whose name was Ben Bryce, so I just kind of combined it.
I see what you did. Yeah. I see what you did there. So I sent the song to Lauren, and she was like, girl, I fucking got you. And literally like a day later, she sent me this beautiful melody and harmonies and like, here's your song, go write lyrics to this. And I'm the kind of person where if you give me sounds, notes, or syllables, easy. But I need one of those things. I need either syllables, sounds, or notes. That's how I can do singing. That's pretty much it. Same with screaming as well. Like if I'm working with a writer, basically I'm like, just make sounds. Just make sound. Literally go like rah, 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 to the song, and I will write lyrics over your rah, 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 rah. That's just how I work. That's how my brain processes music. And so, yeah, Lauren sent me all the MIDI stuff, and I recorded it, and I love it. It's one of my favorite songs on the EP. It's the only song that I'm singing the whole time in.
Mm-hmm. I was going to bring
which I think is notable.
Props to you.
Yeah, thank you. It's the song that I'm singing in for the whole duration of the song, and I thought that was kind of cool. The feature on the song was screaming instead of singing, because on the other songs it's usually someone singing and me screaming, you know what I mean? So this one was my chance to singing ability that I am working on. And I've seen progression over myself over the years. I think everybody else has seen the progression years as well. And so I'm super proud of the song, and I'm glad people are receiving it so well. Also note that it's being put on a couple playlists. So is Bird Box. Bird Box is actually being put on the Scene Daddy Spotify playlist, which is huge for
Hell
us.
yeah.
So thank you, Scene Daddy. Appreciate you putting
Thank you,
Bird Box
Scene
on that playlist.
Daddy.
Thanks, Scene Daddy. Appreciate
The
you.
reception has been nothing but positive with this album so far. With the, by the time this is being recorded,
shocks me.
2 releases.
It genuinely shocks me, to be completely honest with you. Putting out original music, and I think Kay and I could speak to this like on the same level. It's the most
terrifying.
nerve-wracking. It's the fucking most nerve-wracking thing ever, because it's all of you. There's no cover to hide behind your shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally all you. And you have to put that out in the world and just hope that people fucking like accept it. So the fact that people are just like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm just sitting here like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how to react to it. I really don't. I haven't expected this in the last like decade that I've been doing music. And I've been doing music since I was 12. So like over a decade, but like, it's just been incredible. And I'm super grateful for it, obviously. But like, it's surreal to experience, I would say.
For sure. Renee was the same way when she released that new single, IDGAF. She was like terrified of the reception. And then I was like, it's a fucking great song. And the reception's been nothing but positive. I expect nothing less from the Pandemic EP.
Let's hope so.
I hope. Let's pray. Let's cross our fingers. Okay, so that was track 5.
Look,
back to track.
Comes out, I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Go ahead.
Back to track 2. Divided We Fall. If there's anything, Kay, lyrically you wanted to say about that?
For sure. So Divided We Fall started out completely different. It started out a song about a girl that I once was involved with that I shouldn't have been involved with. And the lyrics were like similar at the beginning, round and round in circles. It's always the same old shit. That was a girl, not about the political situation, like the political climate of our country.
Still applies though, so.
And then it still applies, exactly. Like the meaning still applies, and so that's why those lyrics actually stayed there ultimately. But yeah, that's interesting. Like you could write a song about one thing and then it could completely change a year later, depending on your situation.
What's up?
Pause. You're talking about Divided We Fall again.
What's up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right?
Oh no, aren't we talking about?
No, we went back to
show.
We went back to track 2.
Fuck. Sorry, I didn't have you back there. Dude.
You know what?
At
this point, there's going to be no editing. This is just one video, so everybody's following with us. Everybody is with us.
God. And now they're not.
Now they're not. I'm not even with us, so.
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You are good,
Holy
dude.
Shit.
It's all good.
All right. So, Kay. Oh my. That's
yes.
Okay. Kay, take the reins.
For sure. So, do you want me to say that whole thing again?
No, you're good. I'm probably going to very loosely edit this, just so people could understand.
Okay, cool.
Where we're coming from.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Divided We Fall.
So let me just fill the audience in. Yeah, Divided We Fall. Okay, so Divided We Fall. It's a very like heavy, angry song, and I like that about it. It's not as heavy as Bird Box, obviously, but it's still pretty moshy, I would say.
Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
And I really like the lyrics to this song. And the feature on it is Adam Ryan. And if you don't know who My City, My Secret is, you should definitely check them out. They're absolutely incredible. They've been on hiatus for a couple of years, but hopefully they like start working on some music again because of another EP or another record from them. And so hopefully this sparks some inspiration for Adam to get back in the studio and do some stuff, because I think he's a really good vocalist, and for this he wanted to he usually like sings, and so he wanted to show off his like screaming ability even more, and that was kind of and I think he did a killer job on the song.
Oh yeah, like the chorus, like I don't know why the first thing I thought of was like old school Kill Switch Engage. I was like, hell yeah, this hits so well. I hear that
though. I do feel that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, this sounds so fucking good. And like instrumentally, the song was inspired a lot by like Beartooth, especially, I Have a Problem. Like, oh man, I just wanted something that like people could like really mosh to. I mean, we won't be able to mosh to it for a while, obviously, but like, but like what it comes down to is just like, no, I just want a banger. I want someone to like jump up and down. That's how we wrote this in the first place. When Kay was up here, and we're just like, nah, if someone can move to this shit or just like hop, I want to see the crowd jumping. And sometimes it just takes that sort of mentality, and like you just go with that sort of writing style. And it's still old school metalcore as well. I find it, especially that like post second chorus, like big ring out of the guitar at the end, and then just like hitting like the cymbals and stuff like that. Like that's super old school. It's super, super old school. So I really, really enjoyed how this song turned out, especially with the changes that were made after just a year of just not listening to it. So I'm satisfied as fuck with this.
Yeah, and then the last thing I want to say about the meaning of the song, real quick, and obviously I keep repeating that this is about the pandemic. So this song is a lot about like somebody who contracts the coronavirus, and adds like the spreadability of the contagion. And I really wanted to write about that, the lack of ventilators, and then how we found out that ventilators are making people die, your body give up on fighting the virus. I talk about the news in this song. I talk about like how long will it take, that kind of stuff. So yeah, and the fact that we don't really know what's real. So that's Divided We Fall.
All right, now unfortunately, the last track on the album, EP, I guess, same fucking thing. Another swear word. Like I said, guys, go crazy. If you guys want to get anything off your chest, do it now. Symptoms start to show. Anything about that?
If you would have told me that we got JT from Famous Last Words on this, and I wrote this when I was like fucking 14, 15 years old, I would have lost my fucking mind.
That is big.
I remember mowing lawns when I was too young to get a job here, listening to Two-Face Charade on fucking repeat.
That's such a good album, though.
I love what he did with this song. This song is old school inspired, as most of the record is, obviously. But beyond that, like, I originally had a vocal idea that I wanted to do, and I sort of kept it to myself. I sent it to Kay as just like a reference. But then when he was just like pulling the whole I'm home, have nothing to do, hit me up. And then Kay reached out with her, hey, I know you got nothing to do. You're a bro.
Hey, JT.
And then hearing what he did with it, what made me like super, super jazzed and almost had like a fanboy moment was the fact that like what I thought of melodically was very close to almost exactly what he came up with. And I was just like, oh my God. So that was just a big moment for me. And like having to mix like his vocals specifically just felt surreal. So that definitely put that song over the top, I would say.
Yeah, and then lyrically, this song is about needing a prescription because you got the virus, but you can't afford it, that kind of thing. Like, again, all the symptoms, your lungs are, in pain, down on your knees, like, stuff. Those are, some of the themes. And then JT came in with his chorus, the air is getting harder to breathe. It feels like something's changed inside of me, uncertainty, disease, but I won't give in to. It's like you trying to fight back against this thing that's trying to kill you. You're trying to survive. Right. And that's what we're all trying to do at the end of the day. So it's true. Very relatable. And my favorite part of the entire song is his bridge. Every time I hear it, I'm blown away. It takes my breath away. It makes me tear a little bit. And like, I want people to cry when they hear the song.
Oh yeah, this song
I want them to
cry. Feels. This hits you in the feels so hard.
100%. Beautiful though. And beautifully done.
And it begins and ends with my favorite thing, which is the sound of a shotgun.
Hell yeah.
I am a huge Woe Is Me fan. A huge Woe Is Me fan. And they used to have shotguns sounds in some of their songs, and that was like my thing. I was like, I love this. I want this in one of my songs one day. So this song begins with a shotgun and ends with a shotgun blast. And so when you hear that shotgun at the end, it like hits you in your chest. Like you can feel it, especially if you have headphones on. So listen with headphones.
Oh, hell yeah.
It definitely is a headphones album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just in all. Actually, when I heard that shotgun at first, I didn't think What Was Me. For whatever reason, I immediately thought of Body Snatcher with their new album. They have that one song. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's off of their new album. And it's like before every verse, after every chorus, before every other verse. Like cockiness, like yeah.
You got those like glass effects, like shattering glass just for no reason, like that kind of thing. All right,
fucking dope. And it's like, damn. So that's really what I thought of.
Got you. Nope, but it was old school Woe Is Me.
Fuck yeah.
Guys, so we're at the end. So unfortunately, that's the end of the track list. But if you guys have anything else to say, in terms of the album itself, the recording process overall, I know we kind of went through that track by track, so there's not much else to say. But yeah, anything else about the album?
Ryan did all of this on his laptop. So if you're out there as a musician, as a producer, as anything, fucking do it on your laptop. You have zero excuses. I recorded vocals in my closet. Okay. You can do this anywhere. And
I do this off a laptop in my bedroom. And yeah, like I love that the biggest compliment that I got, at least as a producer, from the features was Kate texted me and she was like, no one can believe that you did this on a fucking laptop. And I was just like, yes,
literally,
that's all I want. So don't even think about it.
The features are like, wait, what?
Yeah, this isn't pro. What the fuck? So it's slight disappointment, but you know what? That's what I'm used to. So beyond that, at the same at the end of the day, like, it's a fun fact, I'd say, but as long as you enjoy the music, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. I would say that this EP definitely wouldn't be what it is today, unfortunately, without making light of a bad situation.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are really resonating with the music and really spending a lot of time listening really means a lot to me personally. And this is like the first, I guess, somewhat major project I've been a part of, and to see the reception be this great is everything I could have hoped for this. And it's amazing to see. So I hope people just continue supporting. That's all I would hope for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, any closing words from you guys? I'm gonna plug all your shit after. I'm gonna try to do it all in one thing. I'm gonna challenge myself, but
that's what I was gonna do, but it's fine.
So Ryan, you have, by the time this comes out, so both you guys put your mindset in June 8th, because I'm gonna sound crazy with what I'm about to say. So June 8th. Ryan,
you're good.
Not a couple days. This month, Ghost is coming out. And
the EP's coming out, actually.
The whole EP's coming out.
Yeah.
I fucked the dates up. That was on me.
Thank
you for putting me in my place, dude.
No worries.
So then you talk about it. You know way more than I do then. Ghost.
So yeah, Ghost. That dropped on May 15th. And
that's bad.
The song is
I was off by a lot.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. This is the first solo song I've ever put out, which is, well, that was super nerve-wracking to do at the time. It's a pop song, but if you heard my podcast with Michael already, you know a little bit about it. But basically what I'm doing with this record that's coming out on June 26th is not only are you going to get a pop record from me, but you're also going to get basically a pop goes punk version of that same record on the same day. So you got 5 pop songs, and you have the metal and pop punk versions of those songs on another record. So you got 10 songs to listen to on one day. And I believe the next song, Alone, will be coming out this month, probably about a week before the record drops. And that one's more of an R&B, chill kind of vibe. But the video for the metal version is one that Kay and I filmed in the desert in San Diego in front of an abandoned train. So that shit was tight.
Sounds dope.
Only the tightest.
Oh, man.
We had to save some lives that day.
We did. We'll need a whole new podcast to go in that fucking story, man.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I'm down. You guys are probably like the best people to talk to. You guys are so chill. I was hoping that this was going to be too suit and tie for me. It's like, I'm going to be the awkward one out. I'm just going to shut the fuck up and let you guys take the reins. But no, dude, guys, this was fun. And my first YouTube video. I'm not making any money. So, you know, this
That's
is
okay, dude.
So it's good.
This is good. Yeah.
Neither am I.
Yeah, exactly. Do this for the love, man. Do this for the love.
For sure. So Ryan, you have that coming out. Super fucking exciting.
Thank you, man.
Everything in the show notes is what I mentioned earlier with where you guys can find them, social medias. Ryan's album, this album, the download link for Pandemic EP. Kay's fucking Teespring, obviously, because why not? And where you guys can find me, my website, shit like that. Kay, anything you need to plug to close this off that I haven't already like covered? I tried. Your book.
So we've got some stuff in the works that we can't talk about, but
That's right.
always like saying that because it's fun to tease people. So there's more for you to look forward to. And Chasing Satellites also has music that is pretty much ready to be put out. So lots of music there. There's also another project I'm working on with a band, so you'll hear more about that soon as well. So lots of music. I really wanted to dive into music this year and really like make a stand in music because I've been doing it for so long, but I've never toured with my music, and I really, 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 really just want to perform on stage. Like I just want to get back on stage and do my thing. Like I do guest vocals all the time. That's fucking fun. I appreciate every band that's ever let me grab the mic on stage. Gotta do this, you know, and I think now is the time to do it. And I'm building a team, and Ryan's a part of that team. And, you know, my manager, Mishko at 10 and 8 Management, he helped so much with the EP, like even helping us set the release dates of the song so that they would come out, and like when the lyrics videos would come out. Like he really was, you know, huge in this and getting these songs out to people. So, and he did the press releases for us, and the press releases have been like massive. Like thank you for every press outlet that has covered this. Like it means the absolute world to us. To the fans, thank you guys for listening. Please continue to stream our music. We do, you know, make a little bit of money off for listening. We really appreciate it, and we're glad that you are enjoying the music. Just keep on listening, and thank you guys so much for you know, trusting us to give you something entertaining to spend your time with. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So what can I say that hasn't already been said? Thank you guys very much for listening. Support these guys. Everything's going to be in the show notes, social medias, future projects, everything. And beyond that, that's all I have to say. So thank you guys very much for listening, as I've already said. And we will see you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.